Hello, my name is Marcus Warner, and I'm going to be talking about my music and the work that I'm currently doing, and hooray, another talking video and no music. I'm so sorry. The good news is that there is plenty of music on the horizon. I am in the early stages of my next album, of which I'm going to be posting a taster in the next few weeks, which I'll be discussing shortly. But there's so much else going on, so I just needed to get that out of the way first. I realise that this video might end up sort of sound like I'm just making a load of excuses. And if that's what you think, then you'd be correct. Please bear with me. This year is going to be the busiest that I've ever had, without a doubt. But the wonderful thing is that it's all stuff that I can share with you at the end of it. Last year, as a matter of fact, I had a huge commission, the biggest I've ever had in my life, where I had to do 4 hours of music. I can't share that with you. I can't really talk about it because of the contract that I signed. However, I got paid for it, and it was some music, but it really isn't anything that's that notable. Most of you are probably already aware that I'm composing the soundtrack for a feature-length documentary film called Behind the Bay Doors. The soundtrack is going to be available on iTunes, Spotify, and all of those other platforms. And I'm excited about this, not just because it's a soundtrack that I'll actually get to share with you, but because the style that we're going for is very cinematic, very epic, and kind of darker than my normal stuff, which is cool. The trailer for the film is actually on YouTube, and I'm going to link it below, so if you haven't seen it already, you can watch it and get a feel for what this movie is really going to be like. However, previously unannounced, right now I am working on the soundtrack for an upcoming game by a fairly well-known and respected game developer. I'm afraid I'm not allowed to talk about it too much due to non-disclosure agreements versus my own integrity, but upon the game's release, which I believe is next year, I have been granted permission to upload the entire soundtrack to my YouTube channel for you to listen to. We've discussed Spotify and iTunes, but it's a little bit of an iffy subject as to who will own what when that happens. But the thing is, one way or another, you'll be able to hear it. The music will be available to you. On top of this, I spoke briefly last year about my travels in America, and I just wanted to elaborate on that a little bit. Essentially what happened was I went there as an exchange student for 10 months. I travelled from one end of the country to the other and filmed the entire thing. My plan is to release a 2-hour movie, roundabouts, which documents my experience and shows what I got up to, and I plan to write the entire soundtrack for that myself as well. Because they're going to be released at the same time, and depending on how I write it, the styles are going to be very similar, I'm going to be releasing my new album and the soundtrack kind of in tandem, as they might share quite a lot of the same ideas, and maybe even some of the same tracks. My plan for that is to have it out by next year. But wait! There's more. Did I mention that I'm a full-time student in my final year? Oh yes, that old chestnut. Well, essentially, at the moment, I have final major projects to be getting on with, and this is getting into the realm of making excuses, so sorry. Yes, it's my final year, and so I probably need to be concentrating on that as well, but I have to confess that this is probably why everything has been so slow over the past year, and the reason that I've only got 2 sort of small singles out is because of this. So for that I apologise, and I hope that you'll stay with me for this next chapter, which I'm hoping is going to be a lot more progressive. This leads me on to my album. I cannot believe that it has been 2 years since I released Oceans. I actually feel terrible for it because it's just been so long. But I'm delighted to say that yes, there is a new album coming. No, I do not know the name for it yet, but in terms of style, it's going to be more in line with what Liberation was. It's going to be a fusion, but far more detailed. I'm going to be trying out new techniques that I've never done before. I'm going to be featuring artists that you've probably never heard before. And there's going to be some more singing by me as well, which, take that as you will. But the goal is quality over quantity, which I hope you can appreciate. I'm also planning to release the album on CD, and if enough people are interested, maybe even vinyl, so keep an eye out for that. I mentioned a taster. Last weekend I was in Portugal with some friends and I was playing as part of a band, and my friend Andre is known as Midnight Ambassador, and we performed an acoustic set of all of his discography so far. All 10 minutes of it. We performed in this fantastic venue in his hometown of Beja. I filmed the entire weekend from start to finish, and I was actually so inspired by Portugal that I'm in the midst of producing a new track, which I'm going to be calling Beja. And what I'm going to be doing is taking the clips and the videos that I recorded, putting it with this music, and then releasing it as a sort of music video / vlog, which will share my adventure with you, and also give you an insight into what the next album will sound like. So to summarise, yes, it's a while off, but game soundtracks, film soundtracks, next album, music video. I'm very excited about it. Please let me know if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I will be answering all of them. I also recommend following me on Instagram. I know it's a cliched thing to say, but it has this nifty little feature where you can do 15-second video clips. And so what I can do is when I'm actually working on new music, I can take a quick video and post it for you, which I really couldn't otherwise do. So that's just an idea. Link is below. Finally, if you enjoy my music and haven't already, please subscribe, as it's going to be getting very busy around here in the near future. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.